My dear viewers, beginning today is the official Alliteration Gaming Patreon and channel members. Throughout my Patreon, we've got quite a few tiers you can check out in order to gain special perks and even commission videos that you'd like to see me upload onto the channel. Every tier includes a shout out on my supporter card at the beginning of all of my videos, along with the benefits of the tier itself. Following that, you can now also join the Alliteration Nation by becoming a channel member on the YouTube side of things. Pledging your subscription here as a member of the channel is going to grant you the same shout out on my supporter card as all the Patreon tiers do, as well as access to the members only channel on my Discord. You'll gain a member badge that will level up as you stay subscribed and access to my exclusive emotes when I stream on YouTube. If you're interested in checking out the Patreon, I'm going to have the link in the description and in the pinned comment down below, as well as the link to my Discord should you want to join that as well. And if you want to become a channel member, the big, beautiful join button is front and center on my homepage right here. And if you do decide to support the channel in any way whatsoever, know that I am unimaginably grateful, and I can't wait to provide you with even more top-notch content at my trademark top speed. Additionally, it's time for the return of the referral code. If you're new here and you're just getting into the game, you've got to make an account on the Universus Gaming Network. When you're signing up, you can use my exclusive referral code Alliteration to let Jasco know that I brought you on board, which directly supports me and my work. Having an account on the UGN site is going to allow you to sign up for tournaments, participate in events, locate stores that support the game near you, and much, much more. Playing in events and or mailing in pack wrappers is actually going to accrue loyalty points onto your account, which you'll then be able to redeem for exclusive promo cards in the mail for absolutely free. An account on here is an integral part of playing this game, so make sure you sign up and you use my code Alliteration to help me continue doing what I love. I would really appreciate the support. You guys absolutely killed it on the last one with all of the signups, and I am really excited to run it back with you all. Now, let's get on to the video. Good evening, my dear viewers, and welcome to another Alliteration Gaming video. My name's Levi, and today's character spotlight is going to come from our newest patron around, Crambone. He's put me up to the role of shining the light on the Vigilante Pro and homeroom teacher of Class 1A, Eraserhead 2. This second version of Eraserhead is a 6 hand size character with 27 health and the all, void, and water symbols. He's packing an enhance that says our attacks will get a speed pump equal to the attacks inside of our pool. But more importantly, if our rival fully blocks them, then we're also going to get an extra card in our hand. Eraserhead is a very powerful ultimatum character. Every move you play is going to either result in a draw to replace itself or that sweet half block damage. This puts Eraserhead in a very weird middle ground as a 6 hand size aggro character that actually sees way more than 6 cards for his aggro, but only when the rival is staving off our damage completely. So early game, when your rival is able to afford to tank more hits, they can actually keep you to your 6 cards only. However, once you enter the late game and you have a massive stage and your rival doesn't have much health to afford, every attack you play is just going to be guaranteed more and more cards. So while Eraserhead does want to be aggressive, he scales much better than most characters who match his playstyle. But how do we survive for that long? Well, that's where our wonderful response comes in. We get to harness our erasure quirks output in a brand new way here, in that we get to tamper with our rival's attacks. Committing Eraser is going to allow you to steal away an ability from a rival attack the second that it hits the board. This is a very strong control option that can find value in a myriad of ways. You can remove the best enhance, the best responses, troublesome keywords like combo or stun, and even static abilities like Tape Swing's ability to not be fully blocked. No matter who you're up against, you're going to be able to find something that you don't like on one of your rival's moves. However, the cost is quite heavy. Committing him means you're only going to get to do this once per turn, so you have to choose wisely. Erasing an attack makes our eyes very dry, so you're going to want to analyze your rival's attacks throughout the whole game and keep tabs on everything so you can ensure that you make the most rational decision every single turn. With Eraserhead 2, you're going to be able to chain attack and swing through rivals' defenses, bolster your advantage with every move played, and utilize proper decision making along alongside your Erasure quirk to render your rival's best moves and finishers absolutely useless in the face of a seasoned pro. Now when it comes to our attacks, Eraserhead isn't locked into keywords by any means. He does, however, encourage you to play long strings of efficient attacks that benefit off of getting stronger the more of them you want to play. The more cards in our pool, the more speed we get, so you naturally want to surround yourself with cards that encourage those playstyles. That means that it's time to talk about weapons. On top of being the primary keyword for all of Eraserhead 2's own attacks, the weapon package is known for its chain attack playstyle that plays heavily with the combo keyword, abilities that demand an attack of the desired keyword to precede it in the card pool. Eraserhead's entire kit is all about these weapons, so when we're playing them, we want nothing but weapons to make sure our abilities are always online. This playstyle, as well as the abilities themselves, are going to be very synergistic with our enhance that wants us to see us go out for long, drawn-out strings. Things like Binding Shoulder Rush and Binding Cloth Whiplash are going to help cheat our difficulty curve substantially by either readying our stage, making our attacks easier to play, or just removing progressive difficulty. Playing all of these cards can also lead us into some great finishers like Binding Cloth Precision with all of its big stat increases and Total Erasure Binding to steal all of their defensive options away and provide some big damage alongside its powerful keyword. In a character where the rival is really encouraged to half block you, we're probably going to snag a lot of momentum, so it's great to have something to do with it. Those are not the only reasons to go for big combos though. If we really want to sell out, we can pursue something like Staff Strike on the all symbol for even bigger chains, bigger speed pump, and tons of draw power. Or we could build the Void route and go for things like Blood Moon Rending Strings to really tear the rival's hand apart and then put big damage on top of our already big speed increases. Now while Eraser's own cards are of course going to cover the three of his symbols, Eraserhead's spread also has very unique ways of bringing out the strengths of the weapon package on each individual symbol. So we're going to take a look at them one by one and see what kind of weapons we can brandish on them all. Going from the top down, let's start with all. On top of the long strings we can benefit from, like in the Staff Strike that we saw earlier, all provides us access to some really nice ways to pressure our rival's board down, as well as really make up for the damage our character does not provide. Things like Net Gun Surprise and Capturing Net Stun 2 are going to make our attacks really hard to stop once they get their speed increase, and having big damage moves like Piercing Descent and Slashing Whirlwind to put those speed increases on is going to really tax our rival's defense. And if they are forced to block our high damage moves because they're so big, we're going to draw tons of cards. And what better way to make use of all of those cards than with something like Needle Stab? With the ability to turn those excess cards into speed, damage, or momentum, the all symbol really rounds out what Eraserhead already provides to our attack lineup. Moving on to the Void symbol, we've seen the powerhouse that is Blood Moon Rending earlier, but as a double combo card, we need some good ones to play along the way. On Void, we gain access to some nice resource recursion in weapons like the extra build from Gecko Stomp and the draw from Glacier Breaker. We also get some different ways to put pressure on our rival's board. Shrapnel Tooth is going to flip their foundations, and Twin Sword Slicer gets to seal them, not to mention being a powerful Echo card with a lot of its own damage pump. Just be careful echoing your attack and then flipping it afterward, because that's going to interrupt your combos as well as no longer provide speed via Eraser's Enhance. We also pick up some really nice deadlocks on some of Void's attacks, which is going to help us ease into those late game scenarios without being overly reliant on our stage. Another big benefit of being on either All or Void is that it is Eraserhead 1's original two symbols, meaning that we gain access to his kit, which of course includes some very powerful Binding Cloth weapons. Cloth Assault's Draw and Expert Flurry's Damage Pump are very nice utility abilities. However, if you want to take advantage of the full power of things like Binding Cloth Capture, you're going to have to build your deck with some heavy focus on action cards, so keep that in mind if you're looking to mix the two Eraserheads together. Lastly, we've arrived at the Water symbol. Now, Water has only really recently begun to become a weapon symbol, but Set Forward the League of Villains has brought in some very nice tools for it in some of the new Toga and Twice cards. Dual Needle Lunge is a little anti-synergy with our deck, as it's going to clear itself and slow down combos while also not contributing to the speed of our future moves. However, it's such a powerful card that it's hard to care. Blood Transfer is a great piece for some guaranteed momentum and more on-block shenanigans, and Measured Violence can be really troublesome to block when we put speed on it, and then it helps pass those stats to our big cards. Speaking of big cards, Cannon Blast is still one of the most reliable ways to take rivals out in the entire game, and if we really want to live life on the edge and stomach that one check, Rushing Stab, Stun 3, and Draw Power is just going to be some immense contributions to our deck. Now, what if we're just not weapon gamers? Don't fret, there are plenty of ways to play Eraser. While you may have to sacrifice getting to play cards that feature the pro hero on them, there are tons of generically powerful packages to play on him. On all, he interacts very well with the combos of the punch package, and with how much raw damage they pack, putting speed on the likes of Hardened Uppercut and Texas Smash can be devastating. Alternatively, you can take a page out of Eraserhead 1's book and pursue the kick package on Void, making your already fast moves even faster, poking and taking momentum extremely well, and then turning all the speed from our character's enhance into damage when it's on Reciprocal Burst is a rock solid game plan. Now, when you're looking at the water symbol, it is hard not to check out the ranged package. While you won't find a ton of combos here, it does possess some of the most powerful attacks on the symbol and across the entire game, and covers pretty much every area of gameplay you could want. Not to mention, pumping speed on those really big ice storms and tongue whips is enough to send any rival home. With all those different attack lineups out the way, let's talk about our foundations finally. Our first topic is going to be extremely simple. Our character will always be there to increase speed, so let's rely on the cards in our deck to increase damage. The all symbol really shines here with tons of incidental damage increase cards. Prone to Dry Eyes is fantastic at letting us turn all of those extra foundations that we draw via our enhance into extra damage across our turns. And then cards like Revel, Attack Mode, and Floating Babies even let us weaponize the cards in our deck, discard pile, and stage. Heroic Lineage also really shines here as the most reliable damage pump activated in response to our character's enhance. Now let's dial back the aggression a little bit and take a look at the other side of Eraserhead, Control. Being able to blank one ability on one attack can be very strong if you time it right, but oftentimes the rival is going to have many different attacks to threaten you with. So we're going to double down on the ability to render their moves useless in as many ways as we can. This is where the Void symbol will take the limelight, as the game's premier control symbol is going to pack things like Noble Participation to take away even more keywords, or even completely seal specific symbol attacks with Crushing Truth. And what's the next best thing to our rival's attacks not having enhances? Well, taking away the enhanced step almost entirely through cards like Fulfilled My Duty and Cheerleader. We can even extend those control elements to our rival's stage as well through cards like Hero Killer, Taiyaki Fanatic, and Irrefutable. With all of these different pieces throughout your deck, your rival is going to have to work incredibly hard to orchestrate some proper attack lines while they're so busy jumping through all of your defensive hoops. Another thing you should be thinking about when it comes to your stage is how it's going to help you ease through your strings. Binding Cloth Mastery is a card that can really help you reduce your difficulty curve as long as you're playing those Eraserhead attacks. Meanwhile, the All symbol has things like Advice for Winners and Destined that can just ensure your checks stay premium the whole way through. Refreshing Slice and Blood Evaluation are also great ways on water to ensure that all of your momentum can be a resource to keep your stage ready so you can continuously come out for those long attack chains. Lastly, we don't want to always rely only on Eraserhead to draw us cards. As long as our rival has health to spare, they're always going to be able to control whether we replenish our hand or not. As nice as dealing damage always is, it's not always the level of game state progression that we want. Sometimes we just need those resources. So let's make sure that we're keeping a stage that can keep our hand healthy. Chivalrous Competitor and Calling for Backup are great on-demand draw sources. And of course, our own feature card Exhausted Exclamation is going to give us more cards that we know what to do with. These strategies go along greatly with Prone to Dry Eyes that we saw earlier, and the All symbol also gets access to Snack Time as more ways to keep all of our draw power constantly relevant at any stage of the game by being able to just turn it always into more and more stat bonuses. It's time to talk assets now. And while we've got some very strong options here as Eraserhead, being a set 3 character, we of course get to make use of class lineup, bringing us even more control options against our rivals. Quick Creation is also some really great damage pump, has tons of plays with our weapon chains, and an extremely threatening deadlock. Sports Festival Stadium can also make defending against Eraserhead a nightmare, providing even more punishment on half blocks with a burn damage, as well as an additional draw if they fully block you and a draw no matter what if they half block you. Now, just like our previous version, Eraserhead here also plays very well with some select actions. Namely, we get to use Erase itself. While we don't get to pick it up on demand, we can still make full use of the Eraserhead response because we're still Eraserhead. as well as its on-demand seal. And if you want even more control over our rival's character, attacks, or board, Nullify can provide even more negation, and Engine Trouble is great at committing down those pesky things in their stage. And of course, Sugar Rush is just always a beast of a card when you need some more stats. That's going to conclude our showcase on Eraserhead 2. Big thanks again to Crambone for commissioning this video and supporting the channel and my content. If you want your own character spotlight like this, you can check out my Patreon link down below in the description and the pinned comments for the character spotlight tier, or any of the other ways that you can commission videos for me and have an impact on the type of content that I like to make. Above all else though, if you just made it all the way to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. And if you learned anything from it, I would also really appreciate some feedback down below via the like button or the comment section. That's all the time I've got for today though. Thanks again for watching, and I hope I can see you in the next one.